Hello and welcome again back to the Ham Radio Guy, your source for all news, information, and all things amateur radio. Again, coming to you live here from the Huntsville Hamfest this morning. And I'm here with SW Log, Robert Sillett, who is the founder and owner, everything to this log. Obviously, we'll put a link to the show notes about this product, but let's talk to Bob here a little bit more about this information and what this logging system works and how it works, and I think there's probably some videos out there about it too, I'm sure.
Possibly, but
Okay.
there's a website.
Okay, there's a website for more information. So, good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Marvin Turner.
Thanks, Marvin.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us here this morning on the Ham Radio Guy podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself and SW Log and what that looks like.
Well, like everyone else, I'm one of these losers who became adept and enthralled with radios as a young boy. And when I was in college, which unfortunately was many years ago, but I started SW Log, shortwave log at the time, in 1988. I think I'm the oldest continuously supported program out there. Back in the days, it was shareware. I used to get checks in the mail. It was initially focused on shortwave, and then it evolved through the years to utility logging. I've been a ham since '92, added that, and have just been pushing it through. And when COVID hit, I took the chance to spend some time and add some more features. And essentially, try to bring it to a broader audience.
So this is initially a shortwave log, and now you've made it kind of more of a log format for all logging of any type.
Actually, if you remember I described it like in the late 80s or 90s when McDonald's had the McDLT, the hot stays hot and the cold stays cold. One of the things, the feedback is, there are essentially two logbooks in one. So there is a broadcast log for like your non-directional beacons, your utilities, and all that, and then the ham radio log. Because it doesn't really help if you're trying to track down aircraft or trying to track down beacons or something like that. It doesn't shim right into your ham logs, so you get to track them both.
Okay. What's an advantage? We'll talk about some features of the SW log here in a minute, but what are some advantages of using this log over maybe another log? Anything from security or keeping your long database, things like that, and how does that work?
So it's built on SQL Server. It's built on a strong relational database rather than some file-based technology. So the point is, it's not only built on a solid database, but the database is modular. So for example, you can take the different parts and put in different things. For example, I have a user in Spain that runs SQL Server in a Docker container in the cloud, and then he hits it from all over the place in Linux in the cloud. So the idea is SW Log is built to run entirely contained on your one computer, your notebook, or if you're a home lab, you can put the database in your home lab, and then you can hit it. Maybe you can hit it from the back porch. You're not on your main log, or you can go out in the field. And I have a mobile app as well, so you can go out and do your POTA and do stuff in the field, and then come back and upload your logs.
Okay. Yeah. So I know the answer to this prior because we did have a little discussion yesterday prior, but what platforms are you on primarily, and what does that look like, and kind of why is it on that specific platform?
Yeah, so the primary platform is Windows, and frankly, it's the user base. Analytics tell me that, other Linux, you get people with Linux and Mac, but the volume just isn't simply there. And so it's Windows for that, but however, the web server and the database can run on Linux as well. So if you want to modularize it and do that.
Sure.
So I have people that will run the web server. You can hit your logs for the web. They put that on a Raspberry Pi.
Sure. I see on your sign back here, it does say Android and iOS too.
Yeah,
so you've got some mobile apps for this.
Yep, mobile apps for both Android and iOS.
And is that primarily just being used for like a portable POTA type log, or can you do other things with it?
It's exactly designed for POTA. When you go out, you can do your logs and then take it back. Yeah, so what it provides is essentially basic logging, mobile, and then you're able to upload logs. There's also the ability to look at some propagation information while you're there, and also to do lookups if you need to while you're there. But of course, with POTA, sometimes you don't have any network connectivity.
Sure. So you do have some integration into like QRZ or ham lookup or something like that.
Oh yeah, the web app will go to QRZ, but the main app will go to QRZ, QRZ-CQ, ham 365, ham QTH, and then logbook the world, and I'm probably missing one. But yeah,
Fair enough.
but a whole bunch of them.
We get the point there. Let's talk about some of the features around SW Log and what you can do with it. Like I think yesterday you were talking about you got some integration in maybe WSJTX or maybe some DX spots or some POTA spots and things like that, or some propagation. What are some of those things you have available for features with this?
Logging, right? So how do you differentiate yourself with different things? So what I've recently added to the program is essentially monitoring the POTA spots. So it goes out to the POTA website, finds all the active POTA spots, and then it splits it into where I've logged and where I haven't. Like, and we're giving an example here, but in the active POTA spots, I've got 44 active spots. There with 40 of the spots on the parks I haven't worked, but I worked 4 of the parks. So I can quickly see, like, I want to work a new park, so that's what I want to do. And then it'll list everyone for you, and then when you select on one, it'll point it to give you propagation, and then tune you straight to the frequency to talk to the guy. So we have that with POTA spots, as well as, so propagation is twofold. You get your traditional propagation, but I have another feature that I like calling like the inverse reverse propagation, where it takes your Q2H and then it pushes it out all across the globe to try to show who can hear you. So you can actually physically see like the F-hops as you're going through the map.
Very cool. That sounds like you got some great features built into this program.
So we were talking about WSJTX.
We're talking about WSJTX. Let's talk about that. A lot of people are into using digital, so let's see what that looks like.
Right. So going into digital, so the advantage of that, WSJTX and JTDX, they have great network connectivity. So what we're looking at here in the feed live is all the spots coming in, and then we tie that back to the logbook. So then I can immediately see if I've worked them before in the QSO. I can immediately then hover over that. And for example, we're looking at a person here that I worked almost a year ago. Right? I can see if I've worked or confirmed them, if I've worked in the past day or week, if I've worked on that motor band, and then the DXCC, if I worked that country before, if I worked the state. And it will also highlight by color coding if it's a new, if someone is calling CQ or if it's new to me, so then I can immediately call them. And then I can double click on it, and then it'll fire off the call. And then from logging, when we log on WSJTX, if someone comes in and we click a user and then we log them, it goes straight over the networking, and then we'll get the log. Getting an issue of a match. We get the log that the QS has already been logged. Okay? So another feature as well is when we're working someone on WJS, we actually get essentially some biographic information. So when I'm working someone, it'll automatically pull up, and it'll pull it from CureZ or HamQTH, pull their logos, their things. We'll get where they are, a graph of where they are, the propagation, and then a quick look on where I've worked them and how I worked them. So that's sort of information. Yeah, so this is like a live view of what you're doing right now. Because, you know, sometimes when you see the stream, there's just a lot of data flying by. So this is focused on essentially the immediacy of what you're doing.
That's very cool. That seems like a really great program that you've got here. This is obviously new to me, and I've been doing amateur radio again since '95 myself, but really, haven't done a lot of HF since 2018. But this is the first time I've heard of this log. So I guess it's not making it out there in mainstream media, and one of those things I want to be able to help bring to the presence today to my audience and let them know of this log that's out there. And there's a lot of little ones out there sometimes, but let's see if we can make this something bigger. And help you out here and get this log, because it seems like it's got so much information.
How the internet hits and whatnot. I have twice as many users in Europe as I have in the States.
Okay, so very interesting. There's a free version of this, is my understanding, and then there's also some pricing around this. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So back in '88 when I started with shareware, so I essentially have that same sort of format. So you can download it. There are limitations. Limitations are on the website. But essentially the idea is you can take it out, you can try it, you can import your logbook, see how it works, connect up, and see if you like it. And then if you like it, it's $49 for a year subscription or $85 for 2 years. But the important thing is, and one thing I must stress, is that your data is in the database. It's in SQL Server. So you can get the data out not just with ADIF, because ADIF itself is a troubling data format, right? When you export, some programs only support certain fields, some do that. And so just an ADIF export doesn't necessarily get all the data out for you. Right. So when you export, you'll be able to export everything out of SWLog in CSV, Excel, JSON, XML. So if you can get your data out and get it into somewhere else if you don't like it and you want to get the data out. And then if you don't subscribe, renew, it just goes back to the free version. So nothing gets lost.
Well, that's got to be a lot of good feeling for some people around that, knowing that they can get that information out and that they just don't have that sitting in their base like, well, I don't know how to get those contacts exported from point A to point B.
The key thing is forgetting the programs and whatnot, and the most important thing to us is our logbook, and losing your logbook is the worst thing, right? So there's there's the ability to automatically back up, but there's plenty. The good thing about SQL Server, there's a plethora of information on the web, so you can schedule that to back it up every day, every night, all that sort of stuff, and so that way you're not going to lose your data.
Very nice. What type of videos or information if a user tries to set this program up and they're having problems, how is there like a tech support? Is there somebody they can reach out to you directly?
There's a groups IO and as well as a Discord.
Okay. And so they can reach out to that and set that up. What is the website in which people can go to find out more information about this and whatnot?
Yeah, the website, it goes to the same website. You can go to shorewavevlog.com or swllog.us. Okay,
very cool. Well, I think that's all the questions I've got for you, Dave. Anything else you want to add to this? Something I haven't.
I hope you're enjoying the Hamfest. It's lovely.
Yeah, have you been here before?
No, first time. I've done Orlando, but this is the first time here.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for being here at the Huntsville Hamfest this year. Again, it's first time I've seen you, and I'm certainly aware of your program. I'd like to thank Bob here, W4RLS with SW Log, for joining us here today on the Ham Radio Guy podcast. And go out and check out his logging program and try the free version. And if you like it, go ahead and go get into that subscription for just $49 a year. Very comparable to many other ham logs that are out there and programs, and something you can certainly put on your Windows platform and use for PODA, etc. And it's easy to upload as well when you get back home if you don't have that internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection when you first when you're out doing PODA and you come home and you upload your log.
You don't have an internet connection at home and upload? No. So what happens is you come home, you just go on the Android iOS app and you just click upload and it goes straight into the logbook.
Okay, so it seems like it's very simple, pretty straightforward stuff. So again, go out and check out swlogusa.com.
SWLog just US.
swlog.us. So there you go. Again, thank you for joining us here on the Huntsville Hamfest here on the Ham Radio Guy podcast, and we'll look forward to you on the next episode.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.